Hello, I'm Sarah Jackman Read and I'm a brand ambassador for docrafts. Today I'd like to show you how to make a floral wreath, and I'm going to use the papers from the Freshly Cut collection, and we will be using some die cutting techniques and some punching techniques. So first of all, I need to make the basis of my wreath. For this I've used the bare basic jute wire, which is just covered in this sort of very thin jute, and to get the sort of circle I've taken one of my larger circle nesting dies and just used it as a guide. So all I've done is literally sort of shaped the wire around it, so I've got my sort of basic shape, and that will just give us the starting point for our design. Now all you need to do is sort of attach it, just squeeze it together, make a little loop on the end. This can obviously be covered over with a flower at the end, so don't worry if it looks a little messy. So I just attach that together like so, and then perhaps just flatten it down a little. So that is our starting wreath. It doesn't have to look too even, but that's fine. So what I have done is I've used some of the 3 plainer collection, and I've used some of the plainer colours because I think they're lovely and spring-like. And then just for the punch flowers, I've just used some white cardstock. So what I've done is I've cut all my flowers, die cut all my flowers already, and we have used the X-Cut A5 flower die for this, and I just wanted to show you how we can layer up some of these ready to go on our wreath. Now for these larger flowers I've die cut 3 sets of petals, and we will just literally glue them together in the middle, just overlap them like so. So you quickly build up a flower, and then I've literally done the same with the stamens. So again I've got 3 in a contrasting paper, and we'll just glue those in the centre. Now once that's dry, it doesn't take very long because obviously it's just paper with a bit of PVA. All you need to do is then just use your fingers and just fold up the petals so you get a bit more, it's not such a flat flower. You want something with a bit more movement, it looks a bit more lifelike. So that is our first sort of flower, and then you can just lift up the stamens and you get more of a sort of realistic flower effect. So that's our first one. I've also die cut, this is again from the A5 flower die. This is one of the smaller ones because it's nice to mix and match all the different sizes. Now this is really easy. I've just got 3 again, and what I'm going to do is use my craft knife and just put a little hole in the centre of each one. The slit needs to be big enough just to be able to put a brad through. So there we go. It doesn't have to be too central, and then we just pop, this is one of the Freshly Cut Flowers brads, and they come in these really nice spring colours. So we'll pop that through the middle and through again, and one more, and again you get a nice layered effect with that. Push the brad down, and then again you can lift up the petals with your fingers, just get a bit more of a realistic effect. Now for our third flower, I have used one of my favourite tools. It's the X-Cut Cut and Emboss punch, and this is the medium flower. And all you do is put your cardstock in and punch it out, and you get a perfect, lovely embossed and cut out flower. But we need 3 of those because again it looks a little flat, and it's quite nice to sort of layer these up. So I'm going to just cut 3 of those really quick. Okay. Now so I can layer them up and sort of push the petals up a little bit more, I'm just going to trim towards the hole, obviously not touching the hole because I need to use that hole to put my brad through. But just very quickly trim towards the centre on each one. But you can see how quickly you can build up these flowers, like so. And then all I need to do is I've taken another a lovely yellow brad this time from the Freshly Cut Flowers brad set. Layer these 3 up and pop the brad through. So that's our 3 different sorts of flowers. Again, just pull up the petals so you get more realistic effect. Very, very cute. So as well as all the flowers I've die cut, I've also die cut just some leaves as well, just in a plain cardstock, and I've just shaped them with my fingers just so you get a little bit of like, bit more realistic look to them rather than just flat. And this is where the fun bit comes in. We need to stick it all together. Now what I tend to do is I start with my larger flowers first and decide where I want them. I'm not going to cover the whole of the wire, but I'm going to sort of go halfway up, and then you can sort of put your big flowers on first and then sort of gauge how you want to go around the rest of it. Now I would suggest to use your hot melt glue gun for this. It's definitely the quickest and easiest way, but that's fine. If you're not comfortable using a glue gun, you could use your Anita's tacky glue. It'll just obviously take a bit longer to dry, but for quickness this is perfect. And obviously where this is a porous surface and so's the surface, and the jute is sort of porous, a glue gun works really well on a porous surface. So we'll add 2 there, and I'm just going to add just 1 down the bottom, and that will sort of, we'll hide that bit where I tied it together. And then it's just a case of building up the whole design as you go along, and I suggest sort of, you know, mixing and matching as you go along, sort of do a bit at a time and just see how it sort of emerges. So I'd start with mainly the flowers first. Okay, and also I've just for an extra little bit of texture and interest, I've got some of the Freshly Cut Flowers resin flowers, and they just give another sort of dimension. So I'll pop that on there. So if we just do this one piece first, but you can see how quickly you can build up your design. And then I will just pop a couple of leaves under there. Just see where it goes. But this is why a glue gun's so useful, because obviously it means that you can build up your design very quickly. And if you do want to change it, you can just peel these off. They do come off fairly easily. So we'll just put 2 on there. And that's how we carry out building our design. After adding all your die cut and punch flowers, here is your finished floral wreath. Thank you for joining me. I hope you can join me again soon.